From your breaking news and weather authority on Fox Rochester, this is 13 Wham News at 10.
A Rochester man in custody tonight accused of making terroristic threats against Monroe County Executive Adam Bello and several other county employees. 34-year-old Raymond Girard is facing state and federal charges tonight in connection to those threats. Good evening, I'm Matt Malloy. Investigators say a search warrant at his home uncovered weapons and stolen property. As 13 Wham's Carla Rogner reports, the suspect has a lengthy criminal history. Carla joins us from the newsroom this evening. Carla, good evening.
Good evening, Matt. Girard is a convicted felon. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says he began making threats against county officials in early December, and he was arrested this Saturday after a search at his home. But it's not the first time he's been arrested. This is 34-year-old Raymond Girard in a mugshot from the Livingston County Sheriff's Office in early December. He was arrested there, accused of breaking into cars and stealing valuables, including credit cards, and using those cards in the city of Rochester. It was about that same time in December when the Monroe County Sheriff's Office says Girard began calling the county office building and making threats toward County Executive Adam Bello and his staff. Deputies say he would identify himself in those calls, and as time went on, he became increasingly aggressive. In at least one of those calls in January, court papers say Girard made a death threat toward a county politician. Then deputies say they discovered video of Girard outside a gas station, pointing a gun at someone allegedly for no reason. That's when they say they became concerned for public safety. Saturday, deputies arrested Girard at his home on Hudson Avenue, where authorities say he lived with his girlfriend and 2 children. He was charged by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office with making a terroristic threat, harassment, and 2 counts of child endangerment. After conducting a search warrant, state police also charged Girard for having weapons and stolen property. He's also facing a federal charge for being a convicted felon and having large amounts of ammunition in his home. According to federal court documents, in 2016, Girard pleaded guilty to a felony charge of attempted criminal possession of a weapon. He was sentenced then to 5 years of probation. County Executive Adam Bello sharing a statement after this weekend's arrest, thanking law enforcement, writing in part, "They did a remarkable job protecting the public by taking a high-risk individual off the street safely and without incident." Girard is in custody tonight at the Monroe County Jail. He is expected to be back in court tomorrow morning.
Also new at 5, drivers being warned amid a dangerous social media trend.
Police, specifically the last 48, 72 hours, just in the city alone, we've had almost 15 cars stolen of just Kias and Hyundais.
Rochester police say some of the stolen cars are now linked to other crimes.
Police say new details coming in just this afternoon, and that includes the terrifying gunfire that erupted outside of Franklin High School earlier this month. Police say the suspect there was in a stolen Hyundai. The Kia and Hyundai TikTok challenge is continuing to hit cities across the nation.
13 Wham Cheyenne Walker reports police are now urging everyone to be on the lookout. Good evening, Cheyenne.
Chase and Matt, Rochester Police Lieutenant Greg Bello says frequently these cars are being stolen by teens who are then ditching them all over. Some people are waking up to find Kia or Hyundais in their driveways or backyards.
The viral Kia and Hyundai TikTok challenge that's been sweeping the country for months is now causing problems here in Rochester.
We've been hitting a streak of these specifically the last 48, 72 hours. Just in the city alone, we've had almost 15 cars stolen of just Kias and Hyundais that have been stolen. All of these cars have been stolen without the keys.
This was the scene on Alameda Street Monday afternoon, where authorities recovered a stolen Kia. Police say many of these stolen cars are also being used to commit more dangerous crimes, prompting police to warn the public.
Frequently, these cars are being stolen by teenagers. They're taking them out joyriding, taking them out using in other crimes. And in fact, even recently, that horrifying shooting at Franklin High School was a stolen Hyundai was involved in that case as well. So they're being used for crimes out there.
Wanda Ridgway showed us where her Kia Sportage was stolen just before Christmas.
Very frustrating, very angry. My car was found the next day, totaled. 2 young boys jumped out of it. So it's just, really frustrating.
She says since then, 2 more cars have been stolen from the same parking lot.
they was like, yeah, Kias and Hyundais are being, stolen in the area. And, he was showing me how they're doing it with the USB cords. I'm like, why is it that we didn't know anything about it? Why hasn't it haven't been a recall?
Lieutenant Bello offered some advice to drivers to keep their cars safe.
Different theft deterrent devices that can lock the steering wheel that prevent the car from being stolen without the key to that specific device.
And police say Kias and Hyundais made after 2021 come standard with anti-theft immobilizers, which would prevent the challenge. Lieutenant Bello says they've already covered many of the vehicles stolen over the past few days. If you have any information that can help police, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 423-9300.
We begin with that suspected dog abuse case. Investigators confirming tonight they responded to a Rochester home once before for less than a year ago. Good evening to you. I'm Matt Malloy.
And I'm Chase Howell. We brought you the story last year, and now police say they received numerous calls back to that address. A dog with swelling to his face, neck, and jaw found tethered in the backyard of a Rochester home with no access to food or water. That's how investigators described the scene when they responded to complaints that a dog was in need of veterinary care at 21 Iroquois Street Saturday morning.
But there's some swelling, some lacerations, and like I said, older injuries that we can say, that there's some signs of abuse, but we still have to figure out what caused that.
This wasn't the first time police were called to that address for an animal in need of medical assistance. Less than a year ago, we brought you a story about a dog being chained up inside an empty pool and allegedly abused behind 21 Iroquois Street. Sherrod Campbell, who lived there, would later be charged with animal abuse. That case is still pending in court. In this current investigation, no one has been charged.
We kind of have to backtrack now and go backwards and start trying to get some information on who was, like you just said, who was at the location, what parties were there. We don't even know if Sherrod Campbell still lives there.
As law enforcement continues to investigate how the dog became injured, he will remain in Lollipop Farm's care.
At this point, the animal still belongs to whoever owned the dog at 21 Iroquois. So at this point, dog's not up for adoption yet. And what we do is we hold that until the court determines ownership and custody of that dog.
I'm told by staff at Lollipop that the dog is healing up well and is such a good boy. We'll keep you updated on the investigation as new information comes in.